She'd slipped through the cracks, like me. She didn't know who she was, couldn't
So,
remember her
pause.
name,
I like the
so
pose
I
that you
called.
have in the basic your 3D, yeah, the 3D one, right? It's a better pose that shows like she's not unconscious only, but she's just kind of dazed and she's lost her mind or whatever she's. So I like that pose a bit better. But of course, if you can act it out, it'll be better.
So here, I was also thinking if she speaks in a local Indian language, asking, "Where am I?" Looking visibly disoriented. So that will establish her Indian identity there itself. And also, she can have some Indian tattoo on her body somewhere. Something to, you know, reveal to him that she is Indian.
So the question we always ask ourselves is how does it help the story? What we clearly want to establish right now is one thing, that she has lost her mind. The moment you make her any nationality, forget about Indian, but any nationality which is foreign, it seems like she is lost in the city as opposed to lost her mind, or uh, or
Got-
actually forgotten, or she's suffering from amnesia. I will clearly assume that she does not even speak the language. She doesn't know where she is. She just jumped off the train, or she tripped in between the gap and she slipped between the gap, kind of a thing, and that she's therefore I would dissuade you to go that route. I would say keep it simple, because comprehension of the story, see, there's some extraordinary things going for you in this film, and nothing should be done to detract the audience from the simplicity of the story. The story has to be clearly communicated because you have an extraordinary form going along with the film. You have an extraordinary set of characters. You have an extraordinary sense of drama playing out. I've never seen a camera inside a coach and in VR, and then the same station coming again and again, and there's story playing out, and there's somebody painting, and whatever. Let's keep it simple as far as possible. Is what my submission would be, and anything that gives my audience an impression of something else should ideally be avoided.
Okay. Okay.
This is what my submission would be. Because if I were to follow your performance, which is the one that you and Mahi have done, it seems like you're unconscious. The character is unconscious. It doesn't seem like it's the character has forgotten, and it never
Yeah.
really comes back again, because if you see subsequent as well, the shot where Van is taking out all the stuff from the thing,
Yeah.
uh, the character should look dazed and should look around like, where the hell am I, kind of thing. Who the hell is this guy? Who am I? I don't know who I am.
Okay. Should I play?
Hmm.
Like me. She didn't know who she was, couldn't remember her name, so I called her Frida.
Yeah, pause. So, like we discussed here, the character motivation of why Van is taking out the stuff. What relationship does he have with her? He's given her the coat. Now, why is he taking out the stuff? Is there some reason why he's taking out the stuff? What is the reason why he's taking out the stuff? Is he wanting to? Is she sobbing? Is she? What is she feeling at this point? Is she feeling like if she is actually amnesic, if she is if she is actually suffering from amnesia, then she would be looking around as if she's in a strange place, and therefore automatically Vance, because he's a sympathetic heart, an empathetic heart, an empathetic mind, and any empathetic person would try to assuage her feelings by doing something for her and assuring her that she is in safe hands and nothing will go wrong. And that would be the opportunity of this action, whatever it may be. Now, if you're taking stuff out, then obviously it could be that he's amusing her or he's assuring her that, it's okay, it's not a bad place. Here, you get this kind of, like, look what I found, It's almost like a child who's crying or lost, and how you would amuse the child and distract the child. So he's like now the father figure because she doesn't even know who she is. And he's now become the mentor or the father figure. And that would be the opportunity of this particular section. So, idea is to get into the head of the character and see where they are, what every single character, or what they're feeling at that particular point. And that will define the character motivation. Subsequent to this, we don't have a problem with the character motivation because we know exactly what's going on. Now she likes the guitar violin because she's seen it before, or she feels like it's part of her for some reason, right? So she picks it up. Yeah. Play. Yeah.
She couldn't speak to me. She didn't need to. She found another way.
Yeah. Now she picks it up and she even knows how to hold it. And she's like, okay, she knows how to hold it. She knows exactly what to do with it. Okay. What is this creation of Adam? That's a
So,
painting. Okay.
um,
Yeah.
Yeah, this was basically, I mean, it's in the script, the whole idea where God and
Right.
Adam, their fingers meet, but it's to do with the violin. So it's a little bit
Correct.
of art, basically of the art being used to tell us a little bit more about the next scene.
Correct. So what was that about? 1 second, just go back. Oh, that's the back side, the other side.
She made me see color.
Right. So
So
you know what I would
basically,
do? Just go back. Yeah, I got that. I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you'll see that there's nobody at the station, right?
yeah, so the
But
right
what
side
I
is completely blank, and
correct.
it's going to be
Correct.
dark. It's not going to be so well lit.
That's the
It's
important
not
part.
going to be so well lit because
Correct.
right now none of that lighting or any of that information is there in this. So this side you're expecting to see something on that side, but it's dark, it's vacant, there's no one there.
Correct.
But then the music sort of cues you in that you have to turn around and look this way now, and there you see the performance going on, and Van and Frida performing while there's a crowd standing around and clapping. So that was the thought.
Correct.
Where I saw nothing. I just wanted to do the same for her, That's all I wanted.
And this doesn't really come across. Pratima, do you want to pause? This intermediate place where we have all this sort of neon colors and stuff like that. It says so in the script, but I mean, we've just applied some color correction to indicate where this graffiti would basically start to come alive around us. So we're going to do start a lot more with the graffiti from this point on, because he's saying that interacting with her, he started to see color, his art style changed, there are changes in him, his personality, and that sort of reflects in his art, and the art then comes alive around us. So it will come off the walls and into the train and stuff like that at that point. So that's why we have an indication of where this would happen. And then we come to this scene.
Look, don't look.
Pause. So now in this, the opportunity that I see, pause, just go back a little bit. just sharing with you the opportunity that I see. That I see Van really far away from her because he's close to the wall. He's right next to the wall. So he will walk a few steps before he asks her to turn. Or maybe he will not turn her physically. Maybe he'll say, "Tada," whatever, and she turns. Okay. So there's a gap between them, which is really good from a staging perspective because it makes the frame very dynamic. Just go back slightly. I'll just because Van is not next to her, he's right next to the wall. So he'll take a few steps either to come to turn her, which is not required. He just says, "Okay, fine, done, dada." He just raises his brush or whatever up and she turns. Just go back. Yeah, play.
Look, don't look.
Okay, one more thing, one more feedback. Pause. Instead of turning her clockwise, she should turn anti-clockwise so that there's camera facing. So that you see that she's taken up and she's turning, you can see the expression on her face a bit longer. Maybe it is just like, what the hell is he trying to do? Like if he's like this, what the hell is he trying to do? Now this moment, even 1 second, that expression is important. From a staging perspective, it just makes it better. So instead of anti-clockwise, we just turn her clockwise. Sorry, instead of clockwise, we turn her anti-clockwise.
So I was thinking, if this graffiti that he draws of Frida, so he's basically drawn Frida in a sari, and she plays violin also, like a Carnatic classical violinist. Where they don't really rest their chin on the violin, they just rest it here on the chest, and it's supported by the foot, supported on the foot basically. So she plays like that. So just some wild thoughts. Okay, like what if she's sitting on a lotus, like a goddess. That's how, going little towards quiche art that we are so used to seeing in India.
So, but this is the moment also that she remembers her past, right? So one is that there are a few things that I just want to share. One is that in the previous situation, just go back before this, before she just turning and all. Go back. Back.
Back? Okay.
Yeah, let's go back a bit. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Now, when she's doing this, what is the pose that she's sitting in? She's sitting in a pose, right? That
Yeah.
signature pose.
Yeah, this
Right.
is the pose that Indian classical, violinists use.
So the pose that you are basically sitting in is the pose that the poster will be also, no?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a very distinct pose. This works very well.
Yeah.
So make sure you get that pose right. I mean, the pose that you got now already is excellent because it's a very distinct pose. I was just getting a little confused with the drawing that has been made. Now, the drawing needs to have that same pose.
Yeah.
The
So
drawing, it doesn't have that same pose. It has a slightly different pose. It looks more of a conventional folded legs kind of a pose.
yeah.
So the pose cut drawing now, the pose cut drawing will need to be accurate
Yeah.
for the push driver. Now let's come back to that place. So we stick to that pose because that pose is very distinct and it'll look great on a poster as well. Now here he makes whatever, she makes it violent and all. Okay, next. She does that, he turns her around. The pose over here needs to change. It's beautiful. You may want to keep it this way, but the story will be lost. It works from a, I don't think people will connect to the fact that she is remembering her mother. Maybe they will, but it's definitely not going to tell the audience that now she's getting a memory back.
So what if adding okay, we will work with the visuals. A. B. Adding
Maybe
a
you don't need to work with the visuals at all. I don't know. What I'm saying is the only problem or only challenge that I see in this section is how do you get the audience to clearly understand that she has got her memory back? Forget about what's happening on the wall. You can create anything you want. How do you, in no confused terms, tell me as an audience that she has now got an epiphany of a moment and she has got her memory back?
For the first time she talks about oh mother, I'm scared, or something like that, you know. I think even though we are adults, when we are in a spot, we remember our parents. So some as in, and
that would work. That would work if there was a foreshadowing to it. There's no mention of the mother before this. This is the climactic moment of the film. If somehow there was a reference to her mother, and that she has forgotten her mother also, and that's why she's forgotten her entire world, and now the mother has come back, then that would work. But you have no reference of the mother. So the foreshadowing is not there, and therefore this will not work. From an audience perspective, I'm saying.
yes.
What if, Kirit, what if we do it something like this? That basically the whole idea is that once the train and the environment and the station and everything disappears, there is a suggestion of something like a stage. But you know, like how you are, if you're on the stage, then you can't really see the audience, but you can feel them. You can feel that there are people clapping, there are people around you, and gives you a feeling of stage fright. Now, obviously, a Carnatic violinist like this might have been performing since she was a little girl, and she might have had stage fright at some point. So we were ideating these things earlier on after our call in the afternoon, and what evening rather. So at that point, what we were sort of thinking or leaning on is that, say for example, all this train and all this environment disappears and we are basically experiencing what she's experiencing, which is stage fright, but experiencing it from the first time that she had stage fright, and there are all these crowds around her and things like that, which she seemed completely comfortable to earlier on, you know, like when she was performing on the platform. But we are recalling a time in her past when she wasn't. And then we see her slowly become younger as she runs into the arms of her mother, who comforted her when she had this stage fright, you know. And even without telling us who she is, could be a teacher, could be her mother, could be someone she connected with in the past. Then this would make us feel that, okay, we experienced something that she experienced like a really long time ago, something she didn't remember before. Maybe, I'm hoping. So my hope is if we could pull this off, then we could maybe get away with not having to plant this beforehand, foreshadow it, So the idea being that, okay, stage fright, a 6-year-old girl performing in front of an audience, didn't know what to do. And then she found comfort in someone who looks like her, wearing a sari and standing on the side with a violin, maybe prompting. And she runs towards that woman, and suddenly everything comes into her from that point. So that was basically the thought behind, and kind of like the visual that you're seeing now. It is going towards that in that sense. That's how it was written. Of course, the stage fright and all of these things are coming to our head now, but this is what we were discussing earlier on. So I just wanted to run
Right.
that by you, get your impression on that.
So I'm not entirely convinced with that.
Yeah.
It may not work. I'm not entirely convinced with that. We have to look at a simpler device to do it. How do we get, basically, the only challenge here is, the story challenge here is, how do we now get so first challenge was, how do we get the audience to understand that she has lost her mind and she has suffers from amnesia.
Hmm.
That we have solved now.
Hmm.
From it's purely a performance issue or whatever performance
Hmm.
need to be done differently.
Hmm.
Now when she gets it back, how does she get it back?
Hmm.
If we are looking at the movie Sadma as an example,
Hmm.
it is from one physical shock to another physical shock.
Right.
And that, according to me, that would clearly, irrevocably communicate to the audience that this is what she's got a memory back. I know it's a cliche, but that's what happens, and but that clearly conveys to me this is beautiful. We can still retain it,
Hmm.
and we should still retain it because it doesn't harm the story.
Yeah.
But does it convey that memory coming back? No.
But it does
It does
convey that
convey, it conveys a layer more of her life.
yeah,
It
it
conveys
does.
that she's a family, that there's a rooting there, and she belongs somewhere.
Exactly,
But
Kirit. That's what I'm trying to say. This is something Van never has. Okay.
Yeah, but
He
the
is,
mother has not been established up till now. No?
yeah,
That's the
but
issue.
the same way that Ego's mother was never established. We saw her only in that scene ever. But suddenly we realize that this cold human being who is a critic and who is mean to everyone has a mother. Of course, everyone had a mother at some point. And without a dialogue, without anything, we know for a fact that, okay, it is Ego's mother. And this is Ego as a child. So that is the kind of, I completely understand that cliches work, and that if we just do that, knock her head twice, people would immediately think of memories. But I am trying my best to avoid that and still try to get there, So
I get
No,
that.
that's
Mahi, I think, just since we have the benches or something, so she just walks backwards a bit,
no,
trips,
no. So the whole
and
no,
falls.
but that's the point. That's the point. I think this is something that has existed in your script from the beginning. That this is something Van did unknowingly, showed her who she is, and now suddenly she knows without a doubt who she was, and Van is no longer important to her. That, I think, is more powerful than slipping and falling or something like that. Of course, we
Yes,
cannot leave any room for ambiguity, but we need to. This is a problem to solve.
yeah. So I completely agree with that statement that one shows her or becomes instrumental or a catalyst in actually bringing her sanity back.
Yeah.
And he does something for her that she said, "Oh my God, you just made me realize who I am." But guess what? Now that I've got my life back, I don't know, I don't remember anything that happened with you. And therefore you do not exist. Right? So she's not acknowledging that Val did it to her. She just knows that she got her memory back because of something that she saw and identified. Okay,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Agreed. 100%. 100%. Now, when we talk about ego, the ego का mother है कि नहीं है वो उसमें वो scene में नहीं important था. What is important is that it's a taste that his mother made for him. He remembers that
Exactly.
taste.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
Now, throughout the whole film, we have established ego as a person who is just not going to be happy with any goddamn thing that you serve him. Now he's served with a ratatouille that he remembers, oh my god, this is bringing out my childhood. My mother used to make for me. It's just that simple. There is a motivation and there is a resolution. But there is a huge backstory that huge story that our ego is characters been built, which is not happening in this case because we have only 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, which is why I fear that this may not convey. Having said that, it's very simple to do it. As I said, we don't need to put the dialogue right now, but show it to a few people and see what they think about it. If they don't get it, then it's your choice as a filmmaker whether you want to put it or not put it. But the fact is that I think a film like this deserves to be put through the tests of let people decide what happened, kind of a thing.
Okay.
Because
Okay, yeah.
I mean, you don't want to get that bit wrong.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
coming so far, you don't want to get that bit wrong. कि लोगों को समझ में नहीं आई फिर उधर उस section में. That's all. So
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is not a
completely.
decision that we need to take now. This because it's a voiceover. It can be done at any given point. The idea is to show it to people who are just not involved and say, okay, now what do you think about it? What do you think? What's going on? What's the story? Now narrate it to me. What happening? And then if they narrate the story correctly, then ask them a specific pointed question. Do you understand how she got her memory back? That's the question you have to ask. If they are able to explain to you and you think that your explanation is correct, and according to me, we're having a slight bit of a, I would say, different point of view here, but it's very easily solvable through a voiceover. So you don't need to take that decision now.
Yeah, the voiceover part I actually
Yeah.
kind of am happy with because it's something, it's like a backup plan for me. It's like if
Exactly. So we don't
everything
need to take the
fails, we
decision
still,
now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We don't need to take this decision now, as I said. Let's go with this visualization only. That stage fright, stage fear, all that again adds another element because now you're adding the mother, then you're adding the stage fright. Then you're adding that, you're adding more and more layers. I mean, just
Okay.
keep it simple. Like, it's
Okay, yeah.
just family,
Yeah, just family, something one doesn't have,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that is
yeah,
enough for
mother.
her to move on. Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
One is not
Or-
family. His mother,
Or-
her mother is important. Yeah.
Or if you want to make this story a little bit more clearer, how about this? That it's the young girl who's doing the Carnatic violin. Okay. And we've discovered that it's actually the mother who taught her the Carnatic violin.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, if you see the animation, it kind of reads that way.
Is it? Let's see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Okay,
go
wait.
little back. Yeah.
So how about this?
Hmm.
The reason why it's not coming across to me as well that is because I never see the mother playing it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that can change.
So what if the mother and daughter are doing a duet or something and then the whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this can be also played spatially. Like you can see in
Yeah.
front of you that she's playing the violin, but then you also hear another strain, which is more Carnatic and less fusion,
Correct.
which is coming from behind. And then we spin around and we see, okay, there is
Yeah.
another woman here. And then this woman in front of us, Frida, she runs to her mother and as she runs to her mother, she becomes young.
Correct.
And then they
Whatever.
hug.
I mean,
Yeah,
how you
something
want
of
to do
that
it,
sort. Yeah, yeah.
entirely up to you. But you know, the mother, some of the poses were not clear for me because neither was the mother holding her arms to kind of embrace her daughter. They were like she just spread her arms down.
Hmm.
So maybe I couldn't get the connection. So idea is to kind of just convey it a little more no-brainer kind of thing.
Yeah, make it clear.
See, there are too many things we are asking for the audience to deal with right now
Hmm.
in this film, and most particularly the biggest challenging one, which you have cracked already, is the form. Okay.
Hmm.
So they should not be second guessing the story.
Hmm.
The story should be clear to them. They are already
Yeah.
dealing with, wow, this is a unique experience by itself.
Hmm.
Now they don't get the story, then it's one more thing that they're dealing with. Or if it's not clear, one more thing that they're dealing with. And we
Hmm.
don't want to get into that. We just want them to enjoy the story and the experience both.
Hmm. Right.
Like there shouldn't be any questions regarding the story. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, so why is this like this?
So this is
This
basically where everything sort of rewinds. So the graffiti
okay,
sort of
okay.
unmakes itself.
Oh
She
yeah, yeah.
retraces her steps back to the
Got it, got
back
it,
to the
got
station
it.
when she fell down, and then she's exactly in the same pose where Van had found her for the first time. And Van asks her, "Frida, are you okay?" And she's like, she doesn't. She thinks she doesn't know who Frida is, and she's like, "Maybe you've mistaken me for someone else," and walks off.
Correct, correct.
Are you okay? Frida? Are you okay? Frida? Are you?
I'm sorry. I think you've mistaken me for somebody else.
Frida? 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 Frida, where are you going? Where are you going? Hey, hey, hey! Stop the train! Stop the train! Stop the train!
Yeah, that's all good. Now, so just one more thing here is that Frida, we have to be with Frida's emotions also. What is she thinking when she sees a homeless guy persistent? Are you okay, Frida? And she says, no, I'm not Frida. And he insists, something. What would you do at that time? Most likely you'd be scared and you'd try to quickly get into the train or quickly kind of like that. So from a performance perspective, make sure you get that right. I understand this is a basic blocking, but from a performance perspective, it's important to get into the head of the character and become the character. And if, let's say, you are a woman and you have a homeless guy intimidating you and you have no clue who the hell he is, and he's calling you with some strange, absurd name, obviously that guy is a lunatic. The guy is a lunatic. He is a madman and he can probably murder you. Right? Now, when he can murder you or he can kill you or he can mug you or whatever, at that point, what are you thinking? You're petrified. You don't want to show that you're scared, but you're scared. And you know that the moment the train comes in, you will rush in. The train is there, doors are open. You will want to rush in because there is comfort in numbers. At least there are other people sitting there. So you will briskly walk in there quickly because you wouldn't want to even spend a single minute with him or a single second with him. And you get in just in the nick of time for doors to be closing. So he cannot get in. And then you sit. And when you're sitting, you're not indifferent because there's somebody shouting. You're not an insensitive person. So somebody saying, hey, Frida, look. There cannot be any indifference there because you're looking at somebody and you know that you're secure now, but you're trying to ignore But inner dialogue is anxiety. Like somebody's, I don't know what's wrong with this guy and why is he after me? That's going on in the head. Maybe I will not show it on my face, but it'll somewhere be palpable from a performance perspective. So get into the head of the character and from there become the character and then see what's going on.
Yeah.
You'll have to get into the head of the character and then become the character and then kind of act it out from there.
This is the final destination. All passengers are requested to exit the train.
Yeah. Nice. I think it's fabulous. No problem.
Thanks. No, I mean, every time that we meet, I think it goes to the next level. So which is great. I'm really happy about that.
I'm happy. No, it's fabulous. The whole thing is fabulous. Let's keep going. I mean, I think it's good. All good. I mean, I'm okay. I don't have any other concerns. Maybe again, it's an afterthought. When Van looks at the camera at the end, smiles at the audience, he's breaking the fourth wall again, like he did in the beginning. He's recognizing you as a spectator who has watched and witnessed it. Maybe I thought he will tell me something last as a parting shot.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
was
we had a
expecting
lot.
he'd say something.
Yeah,
It's not necessary, but
Yeah.
I thought he'd say something to me.
we had a last line of
What was his
dialogue
first
which we
dialogue?
removed.
What is
His
his
first
first dialogue?
Oh, you see me, huh? Not many people do these days. Because there's another layer that you need to understand here, Kirit, that everybody else, even though they will be visible, they will all have their eyes closed. So they are doing everything that normal persons do in the train, walking out, clapping even to her performance or whatever, but their eyes are closed. Throughout the film, their eyes are closed, which is almost like
Excellent.
even if
Excellent.
we, yeah, you get the
Excellent.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. So that's excellent. Do you want to add a dialogue in the end? Oh, you see me now, huh? Or you still see me here? Or something like that. Or you still see me. Something. I don't know. I mean, I just thought that Van wanted to speak to me. He was to tell me something last. Or you're still
Yeah, but
here. Or something.
yeah, you know what I really liked? I mean, we had a line of dialogue, which was more like, how his life keeps going around in circles. And you said in a very early meeting that just that announcer saying that this is the final destination, everybody needs to exit. He knows that
Fabulous.
his life is not going anywhere. And we
Correct.
just leave it with him,
Yeah,
just with his thoughts, with just that.
absolutely. But now that I see the animatics and I
Hmm.
see your performance and I see you sitting there and I see you looking at the camera and smiling at me,
Hmm.
I feel like you want to tell me something. That's what I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying, okay, I
Yeah,
feel like this guy wants to tell me that one last thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's necessary.
Yeah.
I'm just saying maybe it's unsaid.
Maybe it's unsaid. Maybe it's something like, I told you my story. I told you all I have to say. Now I don't have anything more to tell you. So stick around or go away. I'm
Or
happy either
it could
way.
be
So
just
it's kind of,
simply a thing like he said, oh, you see me, huh? In the beginning, he said. Again, it comes back to the circular plot. So in the beginning, he said, oh, you see me, huh? So he can say, oh, you're still around, huh? Something like that, Just that
we'll,
one short,
we'll,
succinct.
we'll think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
We'll think about it.
necessary.
Hmm.
But I just felt like when I saw that last shot and that performance, I said, this guy wants to tell me something. And I'm not saying that dialogue needs to be there.
Hmm.
maybe it's a good tease that the dialogue is not there because
Hmm.
everything is understood by the audience. So the dialogue is
Yeah.
not needed, but yet
Yeah.
I felt like some things
Yeah.
should be
So
said. Maybe.
maybe it's a good
And,
thing also that it subverts your expectation, that you're expecting him to say something, but he doesn't. You know,
absolutely.
that
Completely
also
agree.
works.
Completely agree. तो अभी क्या बोलने के लिए रहा क्या है मेरे पास कुछ
हाँ,
नहीं है मेरे पास
exactly,
बोलने
exactly.
का
हाँ,
है like
जो बोलना था
everything is
बोल
over
दिया.
man okay you saw it right okay
Exact,
then
exact,
yeah
exact,
you've been around you watched it
exact,
and
exact.
yeah it's beautiful keep it the way it is no problem I'm
Okay.
just saying from when I thought it like now he's gonna say something and it's good that it supported that as
Yeah,
well
yeah. That's what I thought. Even I
yeah
felt that when I watched it. I said, but then I was trying my best to then say, whatever I have to say, I'm saying it with my body, with my eyes. I'm trying to do that. So let's see.
Hmm,
Let's see how it comes across.
correct fabulous let's go ahead let's keep going I
Yeah.
don't think it's an issue I don't see any issue. Let's put the poster back in, but that's an important
Yeah, the
part.
poster is back. Poster is back.
Yeah,
In
in the
fact,
beginning and the
Pratima,
end.
you want to share the poster now
In
with
the
Kirit?
beginning as well as the end, huh?
Yeah,
Please.
yeah,
The end
yeah.
also. Let's put it back in.
We
Because
have
without that,
the rough design of the poster. Just share Pratima's.
Yeah, just a minute. Um, so this is the mural that he draws of Frida,
Hmm.
the last portrait, and this is the poster.
See now I love the poster, I love the sketch, I love the panache, I love everything. It's beautiful. What is important for us to understand is the way she keeps her legs. So the legs ka thing na maybe therefore the sari even if you're putting a sari and I like the flow and I like this everything but how do we still convey the gesture of the legs the way you had done it the
So
way you had acted it
see people who know, as in the Western way, they hold their violin with the chin. Here, your head is free. That itself, as in even if you don't get into the nitty-gritties, the fact that your head is free itself is a big thing, big contrast to
got
the
it
way we've always seen violin being, as in I didn't know about this before, I started researching.
got it so we're not really following the necessarily the legs ka gesture we are following this more of
No,
the
we are.
stance
No, we
but
are. बट
uh,
एस्थेटिकली अभी नहीं दिख रहा है तो नहीं दिख रहा है मतलब साड़ी तो है चाहिए ना
Okay.
okay no problem love it no problem
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, this is the everything right now is a sketch, and things I tend to think become clearer on iterations. So we'll see.
And also
I
not
really
too
love
much
this.
emphasis because we
yeah
don't
yeah so
have a person playing Carnatic music for us. The
right
music composer is going to compose Western classical music. So
got
that
it
also you know
got it got it got it
I mean, that's an interesting twist also. That she was a Carnatic violinist who
yeah.
was
So
here
she
for a
plays
concert,
like
but
that,
she played
playing.
Western music. Doesn't matter because she lost her memory, but she knows how to play the violin.
okay yeah so hello
Yeah, can hear you. No, lost you.
hello
Yeah, I
You're
can.
Yeah,
You're audible, Kirit.
yeah frozen so yeah I think see if first is that if if everything is, if something's working really well, I will not want to change it at all. And I think the poster really works very well. Okay, so and whatever I feel, wherever I can contribute, I'm definitely speaking up and I'm telling you this is what I feel. And whatever is not working for me, obviously I'm punctuating that even more. So rest assured, if something's working, no further discussion. Let's move on to something that needs discussion. It's very simple. The poster is beautiful. It's all good. I like the name also. Memories, fantastic. Very good.
That's
We
someone.
gonna keep the name memories in the beginning or no? We should keep the name memories in the beginning, right? Because that's
On the poster, right?
yeah. In the beginning, when we will put the poster in the beginning, we may not show the face, but we should definitely keep the name memories
Yeah, for sure.
there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I really like
maybe
that
it's
idea.
partly obscured or whatever.
Yeah.
But what is important also to somewhere have the actors, the person's name, you know, obscured, but she has a name
She has a
and
name.
she's
She
a
has an
star.
identity. Yeah.
Like yeah, like Madonna or somebody. You know, that if she's a big celebrity, then it will not be the name of the album will be big, but her name will be equally big.
Yep.
Madonna or anybody like Zubin Mehta. So that name Zubin Mehta will be really big as whatever his show is, or almost as big as his show. So that name is obscured, but the name of the show is Memories. But she does have a name that's obscure. Yeah, all good for me.
You have a good night's sleep, Kirit, as in.
Yeah, I'm okay. Don't worry.
Thanks again,
Anything
Kirit.
else you want to discuss or what?
We will, I think, come back on some smaller things from the
Sure.
notes that we have now from this call.
Yeah.
We'll
yeah.
ask you, does this work better? Does that work better? We'll have a few things, especially related to the losing the memory and coming back to the memory parts. So we'll come back to it.
Yeah. As I said, it's solvable through just dialogue,
Through a dialogue. Yeah.
or maybe the visualization you want to strengthen it. But definitely the crowd, stage fright and all don't add layer to it. That's not going to add anything to the story.